Okay, this is kind of an odd video to be making after the video I just posted, but I want to talk about this while it is fresh. I want to talk about it while it's fresh in my mind, fresh in my feels, and you know, kind of fresh psychologically for me, because I'm still, I mean, I guess you could say psychologically hurting a little bit right now. I lost a lot of money yesterday, all right, trading, and I kind of lost control. I want to get into all of it and kind of just explain what went wrong, what happened, but I do take full responsibility, and maybe that's the hardest thing about losing so much money on one trade. Maybe that's the hardest thing about it, because I'm the only one that's responsible, right? I can't blame the market. I can't blame the distractions in life. I can't blame anything or anyone other than myself. Yesterday, I lost $2,700 on PayPal. And as most of you guys know, PayPal is a stock that I have been just pulling money out of. You know, every day, $200, $400, $1,000, $500. You know, I have been doing very, very well trading PayPal. And, you know, I was on a very, very long winning streak. I almost feel like I deserve this, right? I almost feel like I didn't deserve all of the money that I was making, right? I made it too quickly, and for whatever reason, God, you know, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, right? According to Job. So I kind of feel like this had to happen, because, you know, seeing the cash in my trading account, they were just numbers on a screen, right? I wasn't really comprehending, like, I guess I was getting a little bit unappreciative, maybe a little jaded, you know, and I know that kind of sounds silly. It's only been a couple of months, but you know, the month before in May, I made $1,800. And before I took this loss, I was up like $4,700 on the month. The good news is, right, there are some good things. I'm still green on the month, right? I'm still green. I'm up about 22, I think, 22 or $2,300, which is still not bad. You know, I mean, that's not bad at all. Most people, you know, are definitely not making that kind of money trading. But a lot of people aren't even making that much money at their day job. So I'm still up $2,200, and I still have cash. I only have about $500 in the trading account, and this is what really, really sucks, because, you know, I have a decision to make. I do have $2,000 in stock, right? Mining stocks, some blue chip stocks, and I really don't want to sell that portfolio, because I built that portfolio over the last couple of weeks, you know, and I really don't want to sell it. I have $500 in my trading account. If I were to sell the portfolio, I would have about $2,500 that I could trade with, and that would be plenty. That would be plenty of cash to get, you know, to get my accounts back up and running. So I'm sort of facing a dilemma. Do I want to liquidate the portfolio? Because I'm not going to liquidate my silver. I'm not going to liquidate my gold. I've got a little bit of cash at home, but I really don't want to throw that into the market yet. Do I trade with $500, right? This is something I have to sort of think about this weekend. Should I trade with $500 and just kind of take a step back? I think it would be good for me. But I want to talk about what happened. So I really missed a key piece of analysis. There was a price gap in between Wednesday and Thursday's price, and I knew it had happened, right? I even talked about it with my brother, and I talked about it on social media. I knew that it had happened. I knew that there was this price gap. The markets had gapped that day, and PayPal had gapped. And when I went to trade on Friday, it just never occurred to me, right? I never thought about it. I never thought, it never crossed my mind that, well, price is probably going to have to fill in that gap, that could be a risk in buying calls soon after the open. And the other thing that sucks is I was actually up about $150 maybe right at the open, and I didn't take it. Why didn't I take it? Because I was greedy. I thought to myself, I deserve more than $150 today. And I didn't take it. I let it go against me. I doubled down. But going back to my analysis, I had missed a key piece of analysis, which was that, we had this gap up from Wednesday and Thursday that was likely, the probability that it was going to get filled was very, very high. And I think one of the reasons that I missed this key piece of analysis is simply because I wasn't prepared. As some of you know, I've been dealing with a situation where, I'm helping a parent recover from a major surgery, right? Back surgery. It's a lot of rehabilitation. It's a lot of caretaking, right? That kind of I have to step up to the responsibility of. And I simply was not prepared. I should have not have even traded that day, right? Or especially traded PayPal. Because I was not prepared, I did not even get in front of the market until about 8:45. I like to be in front of the market at 7:30, 8 o'clock, read through the macroeconomic news and try to comprehend like what the conditions are, and make sure I'm looking at my charts, make sure I'm not missing any sort of technical analysis on my chart. And I didn't get in front of the market until 8:45. I'm also helping my brother as well trade his account. And we actually did well on his account. We got his account up yesterday to $1,100. We were right at about $1,000. So we made about $100 in his account, which is great. His account has never been at $1,100. And, I'm sort of helping him with that. So in that way, that was a kind of a win. But between, sort of helping him with his charting, helping him with his trades, and also the fact that I was simply not prepared. I was, taking care of my parent all morning. I was not prepared. And I was already up this month like $4,700. I should have walked away yesterday and just taking care of business. Yesterday we were coming up with a grocery list. We were coming up with like an inventory list, everything we need to get at the grocery store or Walmart, all kind of household products and stuff. So that's what I was doing in the morning and taking care of my parent and my dad. And so I was unprepared. And I'm not blaming the distractions in my life. I blame myself because we got a little bit of rain here, guys. Can you hear it? I blame myself 100% because I knew I was not prepared, right? I knew it had been a crazy morning. I was taking care of my dad, helping him. I was making an inventory list, right? Making a list of everything that needs to get, bought for shopping. And on top of that, I'm like, trying to help my brother as well. I wish I would have just focused on his trade and not even, traded myself. Because I went in on calls at the open and it was good for a minute, right? But I didn't sell, right? I thought, because PayPal has had some huge rallies this week, and I just thought that, it was a little bit of FOMO and greed. And I figured, why should I sell for $150? This could, I had the 292.5 calls that expired yesterday, right? So I'm trading calls that expire that day. Super dangerous. I do it all the time. But what I don't usually do is, when it went against me, I doubled down. It went against me some more. I tripled down. I almost got back to not break even, but I could have sold out. There was a small rally after the first initial drop, and I could have sold out for maybe a $400 loss. And man, I wish I would have taken that because I let it ride against me all day. I think I bought like 30 contracts altogether. Ridiculous, right? I just lost control. I was in a state of panic, right? I've actually heard, I think it's the Humble Trader. She's talked about this before, how, she's been how she's lost money just trading in a state of panic. That's what I was in. I was just in a state of panic, and I just kept buying contracts. right? Knowing that I was down, knowing that they expired that day, knowing that, you know, I was blowing most of the money in my account on this one trade, and I did it anyways. I lost full control. I got greedy. I got FOMO. I panicked. I was trading in a state of panic. Man, I wish I could go back and just take that $200 loss. Or man, I wish I could just go back and take that $400 loss. Or man, I wish I could just go back and say to myself, you know, you've made good money this month. Take the rest of the month. I'm putting this somewhere in the video because I forgot to talk about this, and this is very, very important. It kind of goes along with missing a key piece of analysis. You know, I was saying that there was a market gap up between Wednesday and Thursday, and it just never occurred to me that the gap might get filled on Friday. I'd never thought about it. But what else happened was we got the inflation data, the Consumer Price Expenditures Index, the CPI. And there's two different inflation data, but this particular inflation data, it's the data that the Fed sort of finds more accurate. You have the CPI, you have the Consumer Price Index. I'm sorry, you have the Consumer Price Index, and then you have the PCE, Price Consumer Expenditures Index. So the inflation data, the Price Consumer Expenditures Index that came out yesterday, that's the inflation data that the Fed cares about. The Fed really takes that inflation data seriously. And so it was at like 3.4%, right? Way over the 2% of the Fed's target. And last time we got the CPI data, you know, the other inflation index last week, that made the market soar, right? So I was thinking, well, the inflation data is so hot, it's so high that there's no way these tech stocks are going to go down, right? PayPal's got to rally. Well, I was wrong. And the other weird thing was the VIX. All right, the VIX, which is the VIX is a volatility index. And usually when the VIX is going down, right, when the VIX is red on the day, red on the hour, the VIX is going down, what usually happens is the markets tend to trend upwards, right? That's what usually happens. But that didn't happen yesterday, right? The SPY was at all-time highs and soaring, but the NASDAQ was pulling back. PayPal was pulling back. A lot of these fintech stocks that I trade were pulling back simultaneously while the VIX was falling. And I couldn't figure this out. You know, this is another reason I kept stupidly doubling down, because it never occurred to me, well, if the VIX is coming down, you know, is it possible that PayPal won't rally today? That thought, like, kind of I never took that thought seriously. And that's exactly what happened. As the VIX came down, the volatility index, right? When usually tech stocks and stocks in general go up, the NASDAQ and all the stock that I was in, PayPal, pulled back all day. They got lower and lower, and my calls, my 92.5 calls, and then I think I even like tripled down on I had the 292.5 calls, but then I tripled down on the 290 calls, right? Trying to lower my strike price, thinking, oh, maybe it'll get to 290. It never happened, you know. But by then, I had $2,700 in the trade. The contracts expired that day, and instead of selling, I held. Like I was just in this state of shock and panic, and I held till the very last tick. You know, trying to sell my contracts at the very last minute for whatever kind of loss. No, they were worthless. Nobody would buy them. Nobody hit the ask, and I lost $2,700. So it's shocking. It sucks. You know, it's awful. It psychologically hurts. You know, it does. It emotionally hurts. It hurts the most because I did it. I did it to myself. But all is not lost. I'm still up on the month. I cannot really be, I guess, that ungrateful. And I still have, if I want to liquidate my portfolio, I have plenty of cash to trade with. And I still have $500 in the account. Technically, I think I could, you know, because I did it before. And I've just recently did it with my brother's account. We took his account from 400 to 1100. So the skills are there to get back in the green, but it sucks. It really, really sucks. You know, because this week I got away with a lot of bullshit. You know, honestly, I got lucky on some of those trades when I was making 370 for 3 days in a row, right? I think it was like 370, 374, 371 for 3 days in a row. And then on Thursday, I overtraded, but I took 2 more trades after my first initial trade. I made about 250 bucks, and I didn't walk away. I kept trading, and I made another 200 bucks. So I was up like $450 on Thursday. I wish I could go back. I really do. I wish I could go back, you know, but I can't, right? And I have to take full responsibility that I lost $2,700. And now I'm sort of forced with a few different decisions here, right? Not all is lost because I'm still up. But the problem is that I didn't keep that money in my trading account, right? Because I thought I was so good. I only need like $3,000 in my trading account. So I started putting money in stocks. I bought a shitload of silver because I want to, you know, get to 100 ounces of silver. I have about 76 ounces, and I'm trying to work towards 100 ounces. So I'm faced with the decision: do I suck it up and trade with 500 bucks? Do I just suck it up and trade with 500 bucks? I'm gonna miss this light, I think. No, I'm not. Do I trade with 500 bucks, or do I liquidate my stock portfolio, right, that has about $2,000 in it, and trade with 2,500 bucks and just, you know, take it easy, just try to get back in the groove of things? Maybe it's going to take me about 3 days to get that money. You know, if I liquidate my stocks, they're not going to clear until Thursday, and then I'll be able to throw them in my trading account, you know, because it's all in the same broker. I have 2 accounts with TD Ameritrade. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe I should just take some time off, focus on helping my brother trade, because my brother's account is doing well. We took it from about $400 to $1,100. It took a couple weeks to do that. You know, and I know I can trade with 500 bucks because I did it in May. I started with $341 in my trading account. And, you know, I've made, I don't know, something like $7,000 since May, right? I made $1,800 and then $4,700 before this loss. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm hurting psychologically. You know, it definitely hurts. It's like a pain in my heart. It's a pain like weighing in my heart and my mind. I was even angry at God. You know, I mean, mentally, I was sort of just thinking, you know, God's cursing me, or God's not with me today. You know, but the Lord does giveth, and the Lord taketh away. I need to remember that, and you know, not all is lost. It's not the end of the world. It is a huge loss, and I really can't let that happen anymore. Like, I cannot lose control like that. But not all is lost. I do still have money. I do still have cash, and I'm just going to have to reflect on this and feel the pain. I'm sharing this because I think it will help people. I think there's people that are in a similar state or have traded in a similar state of panic before. So I think talking about it, reflecting on it, it's good for all of us, and it might, you know, help somebody out there. So comment down below, what's the most amount of money that you ever lost trading? I'd love to hear your crazy losing trade stories. Comment them down below if you wish. And with that, I will see you guys on the next video. As always, until next time, God bless.